Hey guys, we're going to do a quick unboxing and review of the Crown Majestic Automatic Feeder you can find on Amazon. We'll leave the link below of where you can get this. It's about 60 bucks or so. When we first got it, this was about a couple years ago, and it's worked. But there are some good and bad parts with this Majestic Feeder. We want to use it during our vacations. Normally we use these RFID feeders so we control what our animals eat by their RFID. They're pretty cool too. I'll leave some descriptions below as well as the links below for those as well. Anyways, just a quick overview. We're going to see how much it, basically scoops down, how much it can fill, that sort of fun stuff. But this is a pretty big and simple automatic feeder. It's a hopper feeder. That's basically, it uses gravity to push things down, and it has a little propeller inside that actually just turns around. There's a lot of details on the box, which is really overkill. But if you want to read the box, go ahead and pause the video and do it. But a quick unboxing. We only use this like during like Thanksgiving, or if we have to leave town for a few days, like over the weekend, and we need to feed the cats, because pretty much this is meant for small cats or small dogs, because it's really not that big. It can hold a lot of dry food. In fact, it also comes with a water bottle, which is really insignificant. I suggest you go to my DIY for a how to use a soda bottle, a 2-liter soda bottle, to make a weekend water bottle feeder, which is a lot cheaper. It might take you only a couple of dollars to make that, or even for free. But this cost me about 60 something dollars. It's Crown Majestic, has the instructions manual, but it's actually pretty straightforward and easy to use. It works in terms of feeding, and it has a little globe on top that holds about, I think totally it holds, I think about, I'm trying to remember how much it held, but the water bottle, forget it, it's a joke. It barely holds about 16, 17 ounces of water in that little thing. You screw on the globe on top, and let's try again. You screw on the globe on top. It holds roughly about, I think, several quarts of kibble, and it only takes dry food. And we put dry cat food in there, so it even says to only put dry cat food. It does come with a AC adapter, so you just plug this into the wall or to a battery-powered, uninterruptible power supply (UPS), which we usually do, and it also runs through batteries. 4 AAA batteries. The 4 AAA batteries will probably last a good week or so if you constantly use it. So we use rechargeable ones, and I'll leave a few links below for the rechargeable batteries as well. So it's good for the weekend, just in case you have a power outage or something like that. It works pretty well. There's an on and off switch in the back, so you basically plug in the AC adapter in there. Now, it doesn't charge the batteries or anything, so you choose to use the AC adapter or the batteries. That's it. If you have it plugged in, use it plugged in. But if there's a power outage, that's the thing we're usually worried about if we're out of the house and letting the automatic feeder feed our cat. So long story short, it actually works pretty well in terms of just spewing food out. There's not very many buttons. The buttons on top keeps it very simple. There's a big menu button to set up. You can set the time and also the number of feedings, as well as how big the cups you want to do. Each cups on this digit is actually a quarter cup. It's a little bit more than a quarter cup, I think. So if you have really picky specific cup size you want to send, it's probably going to be very difficult to do it. There is a maximum of, I think, 8 or 9 cups, meaning about a full cup and a half or so, or more, by 2 cups. It's a lot of food. So anyways, you set the time. It's 24-hour time, as well as you set the time of the first meal. You can actually set up like 4 meals, I think, with this Crown Majestic feeder, which is enough if you're just gonna basically feed 1 or 2 cats that are coming up and do it. My cats are actually outdoors. I've also lent this to other folks too. It works pretty okay. But the cat will figure out how to basically, work the system and basically pull feed from the hopper underneath, or they'll probably just kick it over and see if they can open the top. Had that happen when one of my friends brought this, and I guess the cat, had a whole weekend of food. Anywho, long story short, it actually works pretty well in terms of just sending food down. You can have up to 8 cups of food. And also, so we're going to set 2 cups up to 4 types of meals, timed every day. So you actually hit the record button too. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. And it sounds pretty crappy. It sounds like a CB radio. Anyways, let's keep on going. So their sound recording is meant so that, you know, when every time it drops food, it has a sound to call your pet as well as to call them again. Never worked at all because they couldn't understand me anyways, so no big deal. This is a very primitive automatic feeder, which is just enough for like a good weekend or something. That's really about it. But let's go ahead and try it and put some food in here and do other stuff with this thing. So I want to use this like I said, every time I go for a long vacation or a business trip, and I just set this up so that the cats actually have food to eat. I'm gonna go ahead and set the time, and then I'm gonna set the time of the thing for a few minutes later, so it could basically spew food out. And I'm gonna set it to that 1 cup thing. So just to see how much is a 1/4 cup and if it's actually accurate. So bear with me, people. So 1 cup, okay. And number of meals, cup size an 8. So it's kind of primitive. It only cycles through one way, so that's why programming this thing you kind of have to memorize the programming. But overall, it still works. So let's go ahead and hit the menu button, and come on, do it. Straight clock. Run. Let's put it down and put some food in this thing. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Okay, let's see how it goes. I'm gonna go ahead and push the button so that it just spews it. This should be 1/4 cup according to the 1 cup thing. So as you can see, it's a lot of kibble for a 1/4 cup. At least it looks like a lot of kibble. Now this is all in real time, so I got my handy little cup, and I'm gonna just see how much I can scoop back into my cup and figure out this 1/4 cup thing. I already have half the thing full with kibble already, so let's take a look. Now this thing could probably hold like several pounds of kibble anyways, so it'll easily last a weekend, unless you have a really big dog you want to feed. But let's keep on. We noticed that one of our cats were able to basically put their paw underneath the hopper and just basically pick at the kibble and have a few drop out. So it's one of those things. The negative parts of this machine are the fact that the recording sucks and it's really garbled, but it works in terms of and let's see, look, that's a little bit more than a 1/4 cup, I think. Since this is like a 12-ounce cup, that's almost half a cup. So be aware of how much kibble is coming out. You might want to test it after you do it, but at least your cats could be fed. They'll be fed a lot, but they'll get about almost like that's 4 or 5 ounces of kibble for a 1/4 cup, or maybe more. Anywho, long story short, it works, and it's been feeding our cats. But like I said, if you put your finger up there and and twitch, you can actually, the cats have been able to try to take food out of this thing, which has been working too. They can easily take a few kibbles every so often, so they'll stick around this, and eventually they'll learn that they can just push this thing over and try to take open the top. So yeah, that's really about it. And if you had water in it, then that would spill everywhere. So overall, it's not bad. Just don't use that water bottle. Use a separate one. I'll leave a link for that, how to make your own weekend water reservoir for your kitty cats or your dogs using a 2-liter bottle. But overall, it's not a bad thing. It works. For 60 bucks, it works for what it does, but it spews a lot. Now I have spew to basically all 8 cups and see how much it'll take out. And this is probably going to basically empty out the entire I think I have like about a quart or two of kibble in here, so it's gonna probably take out all that kibble out. So you have a dog or something, a large dog, you can probably feed that dog for a couple of days, or maybe 1 day or 2 days before it figures out how to open up this thing too on top. So it's basically moving all that kibble down the hopper, and there's a little hopper on the bottom, which is really cute too. I thought it was pretty cool. So I never had a clog, so which is a good thing, but at the same time, there's it takes out most of the kibble, which is nice as well. So that, at least for that thing, it works. So fast forward the kibble a bit, and just grinds away. It's actually pretty neat. It's actually kind of mesmerizing to actually look at this and look at the kibble just chug away. As you can see, it just starts filling and piling and piling. What I worry about is that it gets clogged up, but it never really clogs up on the bottom. It just keeps on pushing. So the impeller or whatever it is, it basically just keeps on pushing more kibble out until it fills up. So if I actually move this down, it should still go. But that's it. That's the entire 8-cut version of it. So it fills up the entire bottom basin. And to see this thing in the hopper in closer thing, it just basically sucks up these little kibbles and this little hopper, which is pretty neat. But yeah, basically 8 cups, the maximum amount will fill out the entire basin. And these little pellets, the impeller is actually the little hopper impellers are actually kind of flexible, so they actually, cycle them in, which is pretty neat. I might just make a ASMR video with this thing, because it just kind of mesmerizing seeing this stuff load up. I might even, ooh, you know what? Better idea. Why don't I just put M&Ms in this thing? That would be cool. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. This thing works pretty well, and it works where it is. The link's below if you need to. Please like, subscribe to other playlists on my channel, like the Costco finds, as well as other product reviews, those DIYs, and other fun stuff. More reviews coming up later, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Like, subscribe, leave some comments below.